And welcome back to the week of Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from, one second here, The Warrior Gamer and, I think this is the right name, Freddie L. Pills Rap Productions. I'm going to double check that name. But anyway, Beetlejuice versus Pinhead. Both are individuals who have died, but have gone basically to respective afterlives and still exist. Beetlejuice is basically a poltergeist, a variety. Whereas Pinhead is a Cenobite, more or less a demon. Now, someone commented how Pinhead is multiversal and all that kind of ilk. I'm like, I've never seen any evidence from the films that is the case. I mean, he's dangerous, sure, but his actual presence, he doesn't affect the universe just by existing. His power doesn't seem to threaten even the universe, at least on the I could just mold the universe in my hand right now, because he never does that when he comes out. And even though let's argue, for argument's sake, say he is multiversal, that doesn't mean his actual power is multiversal. It just means that he exists on a multiversal scale, but he doesn't have the power of a multiversal being. There's a key to, for instance, any Nexus being in Marvel is not a reality buster. They just exist in every plane of reality. So that's just the way that works. So you got to be careful when you throw the versal terms out there, at least in my opinion. But Pinhead was a human, died, turned into a Cenobite. He is basically the leader of the Cenobites. Now, he has been challenged for his role before, and he was, I think, temporarily defeated, but it was very minor in terms of his defeat, and then he ultimately came back. The issue with Pinhead is when you throw him into these kind of versus matches, is that he just, like Freddy and like Jason and like Michael, they exist separate from other type of worlds, other type of canons of existence. What I mean by that is they don't exist like in the DC world where we have all these superpower beings. They don't exist in Marvel or My Hero Academia or Image. They don't exist in a world where they are actually not that special. They exist in a world where they are special. They are an exception. So it's hard to kind of dictate how someone like him would go up against other people. As such, though, he is still, when he is summoned by the Lament configuration, the box, he is still pretty much invulnerable to physical harm because he is a demon. Like straight standard physical harm isn't going to do much. He has been beaten in a fight at least once from another Cenobite. So individuals from a similar plane of existence, a similar type of individual, be it demonic or I would guess angelic too, can in fact hurt him, in theory destroy him. It wouldn't be killed, he's technically already dead, but destroy him. He is capable of manifesting obviously his hooks, magical hooks, and you just keep throwing them out there. He is capable of teleporting and even creating giant explosions. He is very dangerous. But like I said, he can be bested in a fight, and he's still weak to the Lament configuration as a whole. Like the thing that summons him is also the thing that actually is, capable of, defeating him. Now Beetlejuice is, or Beetlegeist, name is often spelled phonetically as Beetlejuice as the title. However, during the film, his name is spelled Beetlegeist. Apparently, that is his actual name. In terms of pre-Beetlejuice, according to Beetlegeist, he attended Juilliard, is a graduate at Harvard Business School, traveled quite extensively, lived through the Black Plague, and had a pretty good time during that. Has seen The Exorcist about 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time he says it. Not to mention the fact that you're talking to a dead guy. But part of his qualifications is he did attend Juilliard, graduated from Harvard, and he extensively traveled the world. Now, when he died, who knows? But the point is, he is a pretty vulgar, rude, crude, womanizing ghost, and is more than capable of going toe-to-toe with most individuals, because Beetlejuice is kind of, in the movies, it's not really implied he's the top dog in his world. And even in the cartoon, it's not quite implied there. But the thing about Beetlejuice is, when you look at what he's actually capable of doing, he is capable of telekinesis, ventriloquism, can mimic people's voices, possession, can conjure and summon objects. He can teleport himself and others, shapeshift, regenerate, levitate, flight, basic invulnerability, and even warp reality. He can just do whatever he wants. it implies he is arguably a top dog in his own universe to some degree. However, he is limited by a couple things. He's limited. His powers don't work as well if he's scared. Like if he actually is scared, his powers do become affected. So he can get sick amazingly with like undead colds or whatever. And if his head becomes separate from his body, his abilities don't work quite as well, which is weird because he has regeneration and whatnot. Either way, whatever. So it's still one of those things where he's very difficult to do anything to. So these two meet in a fight, especially if you're looking like Michael Keaton, not the cartoon, but the Michael Keaton one. I see him just talking shit to Pinhead. Pinhead throws the chair and says, "Whoa, baby. Whoa, buddy. I don't quite swing that way. Well, well, there was this one time back at Juilliard. Oh!" And he pulls Beetlejuice apart. But all of a sudden, they just go, "Bunga dug, bunga dug, bunga dug." Yes, dance, my pretty dance. Hey, you want to see something? Boink! And then just appears, just puts him like an iron crate and stuff like that. Just throws him around. Pinhead gets out of there, just summons fire or whatever, throws objects at him, keeps like skewering him. It's like, ugh! Oh, looks like I hey, I know you wanted to maybe give me the shaft, but this is a little extreme, don't you think? And he's back, and he just maybe just does a giant fire explosion. He does maybe like the mask thing where he just go. That's a spicy meatball. It just fires it back at him. It's really, it is really, it is really like difficult for Pinhead to really do anything to this guy, because I don't think in terms of like appearances or demeanor, Beetlejuice would really be afraid of Pinhead. Because, again, Beetlejuice is dead. He deals with the afterlife all the time. Hell, in the freaking end credits, he deals with a voodoo witch doctor and a woman who was cut in half. I mean, this guy is like really, and that's not even talking about the things we see in like the cartoons. Like seriously, this guy's kind of nothing compared to what Beetlejuice has seen ultimately. And it's not, he can summon the chains and Beetlejuice kind of like, just turns him into like, confetti, just, happy birthday! Here's your prize! So, I mean, ultimately, if Beetlejuice wanted to, he could kind of end it pretty quick by just resummoning the lament configuration. Because Pinhead is a little dumb in the sense that he brings up his weakness a bit. Like, he brings up this, like, we will not let that, we cannot let, I can't remember, like, specific lines, but he has made it clear that he will not he does not want someone else to have the lament configuration to figure it out to seal them back up. And Beetlejuice is a wisecracker and a talker, and he can get information out of people when he wants to, and I imagine he could pull that information out of them without too much difficulty. Either steal the lament configuration with some telekinesis and oh, what's this doing? Seems important. Is it you'll give that back? It's like not touching their doc. Oh, don't worry, I got the cure right here. And all of a sudden you're like, that's quite. It's like, no. It's like, huh. Well, that's weird. So, I mean, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't see him really scaring Beetlejuice. He could theoretically decapitate him and weaken Beetlejuice, sure, but as soon as Beetlejuice just gets his head back together, and he can just regenerate, so ultimately, I don't see him really killing Beetlejuice at all. Ultimately, I don't say it's a stomp for Beetlejuice, because Pinhead is definitely still difficult to hurt. Beetlejuice, I just think, is an individual who can do it, but it still would be kind of like a back and forth for a while. Ultimately, though, and I don't think it would matter much. I think, for my mind, this goes to Beetlejuice. But that is just my opinion. Let me know in the comments below if you feel different. And if you do, that is cool. We are all friends here. Put in the comments below and let me know why you think that. Till then, though, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. I'll see you later, folks. Have a good one.